Hey everyone, Richard Robbins here. Well, the numbers are in for the Calgary Real Estate Board for the month of April, and I got some good news for you. Okay, let's have a look. So basically, this is all of 2019. I'm going to compare to 2018 in just a moment, and actually at the end I got a special announcement. So anyway, sales. 804, then we went up to 976, which was an increase of 21%. Then we went to 1329 in March, which was an increase of 36%. And then April went to 1547, increase of 16.4%. Okay, everything is looking good. Now, the sales should be rising in the spring, obviously. But what's happening with inventory? So active listings, 6,000, okay, or I should say 5,500, I'm sorry. Then we get to 5,900, up by 7%. 6,600, up by 12%. And 7,000, roughly, up by 7.1%. Now, look at this number just for a moment. If our sales went up by 16%, and if our active listings only went up by 7%, does that mean our market getting stronger or weaker? It means our market is getting stronger, isn't it? Because look at this. If you look at months of inventory, which obviously is the sales divided into the active listings, we had 6.8 months of inventory. February went to 6. This is right on a buyer's market. This is just entering a buyer's market. This is balanced. 4 to 6 is balanced. Then look at, we went down to 5 months of inventory. Pretty substantial drop right here. Why? Because your sales were up by 36%. Your inventory only went up by 12. So you can see our marketing is strengthening. Then, of course, what happened here, we went to 4.6, which is a very good number, the lowest you've been in a while, because sales were up by 16%, inventory was only up by 7. Y'all with me there? That's how you determine the strength and weakness of a market. Now, moving along, you can see prices 451, 461, 460, 460. So it's still bouncing around the same. Well, why? Because 4 to 6 is a balanced market, right? So you're not going to see a lot of change, unless there was a bunch of high-end stuff that happened to sell, but I don't think that was the case here. They're remaining the same, but also days in the market. Obviously, with this number going down, which way should days in the market be going? Going down, as they have, 72, 64, 61, 55. So this number here is going to determine this number here in a lot of cases and have a very strong impact on the price. Okay, what about last year? So April year over year, 2017, we had 2.9 months of inventory. You can see we did 1,900 sales, 5,500 listings. Last year, 1,514 sales, 7,300 listings, 4.8 months of inventory. And guess what? This April was better than April of 2018. Good stuff, everybody. 1,547 sales. Inventory was down to about 7,000. You can see we dropped to 4.6, okay, from 4.8 in the same month last year. So this is cool stuff because this shows you that your marketing is stronger than it was in April of last year and also starting to strengthen throughout the year. You look at prices, $495, $478, we're down to $460. So of course, yes, your prices year over year have weakened a little bit because you were mainly hanging up around that 6.5 months of inventory for a lot of the year where your prices are actually going to weaken. This is cool. I'm going to suggest to you, well, I think it's cool because we made it. But anyway, I'm going to suggest to you this. You need to create something like this for your marketplace. You got to be using this in listing presentations, talking to buyers, because what this shows is your months of inventory in a line graph. Shows you which way the market is going. See, look at 2017, you're sitting up here at just over 4, and then we dropped below 4, stayed right around here, and then of course we started to climb up a little bit, and we ended just over 4. But here's what happened. We started 2018 at 5. We're going along. Now what happened in January of 2018? Stress test, right? See, we're going along, and then all of a sudden we started to climb a little bit. We got up here, we're floating over top of 6, 5.5, ended at 6.2. But look at, we started here at almost 7, but look at this. We're now down below what we did last year, 2018, so very good news. We're not down to where we were in 2017, but at least we're moving in the right direction. That's the really good news. So, this here is interesting. Agents, you got about 5,100 agents in your marketplace. We did 1,547 sales. Do Do you think this causes a wee bit of a problem here, folks? You know what I mean? 5,100 agents, 1,547 sales in April. That tells me a lot of agents didn't do a deal. And a lot of agents did more than one. So here's what I'm saying. We have a lot of real estate agents right across Canada, right across the US, it doesn't matter. Probably more than we need, no question. Why? Barrier of entry, right? Easy to get a real estate license, doesn't cost a lot of money, so a lot of people will get one. I remember I was in Vegas one time. I got into an Uber, driving along. The guy says, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm a real estate coach." And he said, "Oh, I'm a real estate agent." I said, "Hey, that's really cool. And you're going to get $12 to drive me to the airport. You must be killing it in real estate." You see where I'm going with all this, right? So what I'm saying is this. You need to get out there and you gotta rock and roll, baby, because if you got 5,100 agents and there's only 1,547 sales or whatever it is every month, is that you gotta make sure you're very, 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 very good at what it is you're doing. You gotta be a true professional. You gotta be committed to the industry. Now I understand that market's not as strong now as it was a couple years ago, or even 4 or 5 years ago. It was a much stronger market then. I get what's going on, oil prices, and by the way, you've got a new premier now, so I think that's going to help your economy a little bit. A lot of good things happening right now. But take advantage of it. You know what I mean? Like, get into the game, become a true professional. Study your market. Lead generate every day. Follow up on those leads. Create great presentations when you're meeting with a seller, meeting with a buyer. Become a true professional, make all the difference in the world. Now for the big news. Big news. I've launched a podcast called The Richard Robbins Show. Now, I shouldn't say I've launched it because it's actually launching sometime next week. But here's the deal. If you're interested and you'd like to know when it launches, if you're right now receiving our blogs, if you're an email subscriber to our company and you're getting, the blogs that come out, you're all good because you will know the minute it launches, we're going to send an email to everybody. But if you're not receiving these emails, go to our website, richardrobbins.com. and sign up for our email newsletter. And that way, when you sign up for the email newsletter, you'll be notified as soon as we launch the blog. And we're going to launch the blog with 4 episodes. So get ready. So very exciting news. And at the end of the day, everybody, remember, it's a beautiful life, okay? Make it count.